Okay, bye.
Let's connect Instagram. Today is closing ceremonies. We are going to talk all things closing ceremonies. While I get Instagram connected, I did want to remind you about my Calm Black Friday sale. This is the best price I can give you of the entire year. And it's my way of saying thank you for being a part of this 25-year journey with me. And we're live on Insta. 35% off. Now, when you go to the website, livingthegoodlifenaturally.com, and if you want to get some magnesium soak, if you want to get some muscle cream, some spray, I don't have that here, lotion, desiccated liver, it's all on sale, but other coupon codes cannot be applied because this is the lowest I can go. This is the best price of the year on magnesium products. If you are like me and you want to achieve cell saturation and optimize your body and create a magnesium rich environment, today's the day. Today's the day. And it's the last day. I do have something going for Giving Tuesday, but if you want that best pricing, today is the day. And if you're ordering a lot to build up, here's what we're finding. Play around with how many are in your cart. Like we have people ordering 15 and 20, and then they reach out and say, oh, the shipping. And there's tiers that USPS creates. And so if you've hit an odd tier, your shipping might be through the roof. So play with the number. And every time you get an order, I have a gift that goes in it for you with a $50 value. And team is putting those gifts in today as we close out 2024 and our Calm Black Friday sale. Today's topic is the power of ritual. Rituals help bring your magnesium burn level down for most people. Remember, anytime that you and I are talking, you need to take into your filter what works for you. Rituals help to calm me down. So I have a morning ritual, I have an evening ritual, and I have a quarterly ritual. I also have an end of the year ritual. Now, it looks very different now than what it did last year or 5 years before, because I'm always making sure that my rituals meet my needs. When you step into rituals that meet your needs, studies show that you're able to manage stress more efficiently. Studies show that your magnesium burn rate lowers. A low magnesium burn rate means you're using your magnesium more efficiently, meaning you don't have to soak in magnesium as often to achieve cell saturation. And Living the Good Life Naturally has a two-part mission. Number one, ending magnesium deficiency by 2055 through the correct product, an undiluted sea brine, never processed from flakes. And the other is helping women understand the things that they can do so you don't have to soak every day. My closing ceremonies, I want to just invite you to come in, and I'm going to share with you some of the systems that I use that have been incredibly powerful for me. One of the things, some people don't do like New Year resolutions and things like that. Mine is more about rituals, reflecting, and fine tuning. So you can call that whatever you want, but I'd love to invite you to listen and see if any of this would be beneficial to you. One of the things that I think stops women from having a successful end of the year, or they've given up on a fresh start at the beginning of the year, is one key is missed. And that key is a four-part system: reflecting, identifying, searching, and releasing. And sometimes we can just jump into the dopamine hit of, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm never going to do this again. And all of this is going to be wonderful. when in actuality, we're just piling on top of unmet expectations. And that increases our magnesium burn rate. And I'm going to be saying this throughout this entire video so that everyone is aware. Today is the last day of the Comeback Friday sale, wholesale pricing on magnesium products. livingthegoodlifenaturally.com. I am going to sing that from the rooftop so everybody is aware. When I go through that 4-step system, it's to let go of what hasn't worked. And I think when we pile on more things that we want to work, when we haven't processed what hasn't worked, that can lead us down a pathway of perfectionism and I never do that. It doesn't work for me. The thing that I do is, number one, reflect. And so I look back over the year, and I'm going to share with you a little bit of my closing ceremonies and what I reflected on. And the first question I ask myself is, what didn't work? What didn't work? And I need to make sure that when I do my closing ceremonies, that I'm in a place of love for myself, because I would never bash on you for anything that didn't work for you. I want to treat myself with that same grace and dignity. That mindset is incredibly important. This year for me, what didn't work? Amazon. Amazon caused more stress in my life than anything I've probably ever experienced in 25 years of running Living the Good Life Naturally. Our Amazon got shut down. We had to hire a firm because things are still shipping out, but they say it's shut down and they wouldn't get back to us. We were like, please turn it back on. However, that happened. We didn't want it to happen. I had to hire a consulting team. The consulting team got paid lots of money. My Amazon team got paid lots of money. And I just keep paying people to help me, and it's not working, and nobody's listening at Amazon. And I have so much inventory there because our Amazon was just exploding. And so you have to ship a certain amount of inventory when you have that high of sales, and they want to charge me $10,000 to get it back. Ah, please just turn my Amazon back on. Anyway, it was incredibly stressful for me. And there were times I found myself crying, screaming, just doing all the things to try to get it out of my system. And so as I reflected on that, my next question was identifying what emotions. I was angry, I was frustrated, I felt not listened to, which is a trigger of mine. And just all of those emotions, anger and frustration being the two main ones. So see how I reflected on what didn't work, and then I identified the emotion so that I could name it, because we can't let go of something if we don't know what it is that we're letting go of. And during the processing, that helps keep our magnesium burn rate low if it's appropriate for you. So I identified the emotions, and then I did a search, and I thought of a flashlight just going from head to toe all over my body. Where am I holding the anger, and where am I holding the frustration over Amazon's communication with my family-owned business? And I realized it was in my gut and my hands for some reason. But it was my hands, like, ooh, and I find myself clenching when I talk about it. So now that I have reflected on the situation, I've identified the emotions, I've searched for those emotions and asked myself, what does it feel like? Is it stabbing? Is it tight? Is it rolling? And for me, it was intense and consistent, which means ever since May, I've been holding anger tensely and consistently. And now it's time for the release, because I recognize that none of that gets me to where I need to go. None of that gets me where I want to go, or helps me be the person that I want to be if I'm holding on to that level of anger and frustration. So the last step of this four-step process is releasing. So we've got reflecting, identifying, searching, and now we're releasing. I have numerous ways that I release. I can do some tapping. I can do some journaling. I can rip things, the paper up that I've put down all the reasons why I'm angry and frustrated, and then I rip it into shreds. I can burn that piece of paper. I can stomp on that piece of paper. I can flush it down. I can take a pool. This is one of my favorites. I take a pool noodle when no one's around and I scream it out in my bedroom with the door shut and just pound my bed with that pool noodle and just get it out of my body. After that 5 minutes, I'm exhausted from the emotion and the physical output, but I also usually feel better and I've let some of that go. That is something that I don't do in 5 minutes. I wanted to share with you though. So let's go through that process again. Reflect, identify, search, and release. So we're reflecting what didn't work in 2024. What do you not want to move forward with in 2025? And then you're identifying the emotions. What are the emotions that I'm experiencing about that? Then you're searching your body for where you're holding them, and then you're releasing them. And releasing can be going on a run, going for a walk, writing in a journal, using that pool noodle to physically get it out of your body, whatever works to help you release. As I go through the different scenarios of releasing, at that point, I'm already lighter. I already feel less burdened on my shoulders. I feel calmer. And that means my magnesium burn rate is going down, which is a good thing. We want magnesium levels high and magnesium burn rate low. Today is the last day of Living the Good Life Naturally's Calm Black Friday sale. We load you up with presents, $50 worth of presents in every order, and it's the best price of the year that I can give you. If you're wanting to stock up and you're buying a lot, play with the amount on your shipping. Some people are having more success putting 4 in their cart and hitting that specific tier, because some tiers shipping will go up to $100 because of the weight. And so putting that in smaller ones can be a more efficient way on the pricing with shipping. So make sure you're playing with that. It's a great time of year to stock up, or it's a great time. You've been hearing about this magnesium soak, magnesium cell saturation. You want it not processed from flakes. You want it clean. You want it from the right source. My company is for you. That's what I'm here for. And maybe you're just starting. You need 2 for the 30-day challenge, and now's a great time to get it if price is something that plays into your decisions. Everything on sale, 35% off, free gifts. And if you're stocking up, play around with that shipping, what you can get the best shipping price for on the weight, because USPS will put you in different tiers and they determine that. I don't determine that. That's USPS. Okay, so already after that first part of my closing ceremonies, just focused on the hardest thing, one of the hard things that happened in 2024 for me. I already feel better, even though I haven't gone on to the next step of the process. I like to do all of the reflection, identifying, searching, and releasing. I do all of that up front. There were some family things that happened. There has been massive health issues that have happened. And so I like to just spend a day or two and just go through all of those. And sometimes I'll take an hour and then I'll come back to it. Sometimes I have a couple hours. Sometimes I have 15 minutes, but I just spend a couple days that I'm focused on letting that go. Let's talk about letting go. I had the belief that when I let go of something. It had to be this really deep, dramatic experience. I don't know where I picked that up, but somewhere I picked that up. Change that belief. It doesn't have to be this big, dramatic thing just to let something go. One of the things I remind myself of before I start this closing ceremony process is I remind myself I can let go of things with ease. I can let go of things with maturity. I am capable of letting things go with these. I am choosing to let things go with these. And reminding myself of that makes it so it's not this big dramatic experience, but it's something that I just simply walk into and let go. And since I started doing that a couple years ago, closing ceremonies is not nearly as emotional. Now, there might be some emotions for you, and that's fine. Remember, we're in charge of how we manage those emotions, and tears are powerful. We release things through the tears. I'm not saying that's bad. I was just being a drama mama in the process of letting things go. And that's what I wanted to fine tune in my process, and consistently reminding myself and using those I am statements of I am choosing to let things go with ease and grace has helped me to not be as much of a drama mama when I do my closing ceremonies. Okay, the next step. Oh, let's check and see. Let's check and see if we have questions and comments, and we do. Okay, so Amy says, I have a back stock of magnesium. Good for you, Amy. I do too. Prices are going up in 2025. And we had three or four dramatic price increases on 2024. I was able to do things within the company to decrease our outgo so that I didn't have to pass that on to the consumer, but 2025 we've already been told will be higher. So this is a great time to stock up. I opted not to raise my prices on product that I hadn't had to pay more. That's what most companies do, is they like immediately raise their price across the board. I don't work like most companies. And so you're receiving 2024 pricing and 35% off, which is the best price that I can give you, plus a thank you gift from me, a $50 value. And it's also from my daughter, because she's the one that pulled off those holiday lotion scents that we've carried in the past that were bestsellers. And at this point, you cannot buy them. It's a gift that comes in your order. Amy, brilliant that you got some olive oil, some of our permaculture olive oil and liver supplements. Living the Good Life Naturally's olive oil is just at another level. You can't buy this in a big box store. The olives are pressed on site. They're Old Mission variety olives, and they're spaced far apart with tons of plants and flowers in between. The sheep come and graze to keep the weeds down. And it's a permaculture system that goes so far and beyond organic. And it shows up in the flavor and the quality, in the benefits of this olive oil. So I'm so glad you stocked up on that. Okay, now the next part that I do after, and remember, we're reflecting, identifying, searching, and releasing. I've got two more questions that came in. Yes, Patty, hello. I am in today. I will be in and out of, we have local pickup set up just during the Calm Black Friday sale. And you go to bay 110. It's not where we used to be in 104, because they're down there creating bath bombs and that's locked. But you go to bay 110, and I'll be there as much as I can today, or team will be there to that you can just pick up that order and not have to pay shipping on your order that you made. And so that's available from 10 until 5:30 today. And hopefully I'll get to connect with you. How do I use the magnesium body spray? I don't have one here in front of me. I had to run to my office from where I usually stream from. I couldn't get it set up correctly. And the spray I leave at my desk so that if my shoulders get tight, if my knee starts to ache, I keep it in my car. So when we're traveling, if somebody needs some magnesium, or if we're on the road and I need to do a soak, I'll just pour out a quarter cup from the spray bottle and do an impromptu soaking session. And so that's how I use it. I also have it, we've got backpacks, like emergency backpacks that our family's always had, that twice a year we go through and renew and refresh to make sure everything's working and up to date. And I keep magnesium spray in each of those backpacks that we have. So that's how I use that. Any bundle packages coming up? Later on the month, we have a very limited amount of bundle packages coming up. And if you're wanting to be a part of that, please join the newsletter and make sure you're receiving them. And there's a very limited amount on that Cyber 54218. And yes, we do have some bundle things coming up. Will you ever, Hess family, will you ever allow local pickup once a week or once a month for locals? Hess family, I would love to do that. Here's what it would take though. When I have local pickup, I can't, so when team is working on things, they're sanitized down. And so to come out of that sanitation and grab a package for someone and then go back into that sanitation is about an hour-long process. I would have to hire a specific person to do that, and that would have to show in the increase of the magnesium product. So at this point, I keep team very small, very efficient, so that because that's part of how I'm able to absorb the price increases. This year I absorbed 4. You never saw the price increases, even though I paid for the price increases on my end. And part of that is because my team is incredibly efficient and they work well together. So at this point, in the next 6 months, I don't see that happening as we find out the increase on our shipping charges and the increase on the actual cost of product. We'll be navigating those waters, so I don't see it happening soon. But man, when I could pull that off, I would absolutely love to. It's been delightful being there and connecting with people and sharing some gifts and some loves, seeing old friends and meeting new friends. Okay, let's hop back to, okay, I'm not sure. I'd rather support the United. Patricia, I'm not sure what the reference is. Oh, thank you, Pam. And Natalie, hello. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. Today is my birthday, so thank you so very much. That's very kind of you. Okay, so let's go on. Oh, gardening, can't wait for the free gifts. So generous of you. There are several free gifts in there. And that is because team is incredibly efficient. My daughter runs the warehouse and she was the one who pulled those off. And when she came to me and said, look what I did, I literally dropped to my knees. I was flabbergasted. That's a word my mom says. I don't think I've ever used that word. I was blown away that she had pulled off what she did to add those product gifts in the purchases. I'll just say it quickly before we go on to the next part. Calm Black Friday. Today is the last day. 35% off of your order and $50 worth of free gifts and stickers. I love stickers. I will forever love stickers, no matter how old I get. And so there's even some fun stickers in there. Also, we had fun getting those ready for you. Oh, thank you, Colleen. Thank you so very much. So G Gardening, on the shipping, USPS has those tiers, and it depends on where you live and the weight of what you're ordering. And so you can see what you're going to pay in shipping before you hit checkout. And so if your shipping rate is, like, we had one person, I think they ordered 20 or 18, 15 to 20-ish. I'm not exactly sure, but it was a lot. And their shipping was like $83. And by going back and changing those to orders that had 4, she still got the same amount, but she paid less shipping because she hadn't hit the higher tier. And I don't, USPS determines that, not me. And so we're more than glad to answer those questions. Just remember your frustration over shipping, it's not us. USPS because of the weight of the magnesium. And so just playing with that before you hit confirm order will help you see if you go back and do 4, does that make a difference? Just play with that to see at what tier USPS is putting you on, and that depends with your weight and your postcode. So I can't specifically tell each person what it is, but you can play with it on the website. Now, some people like me, I wouldn't take the time to do that. I've got lots of things to do, but some people get in there and they just maximize that out with finding the bundle of what is the best shipping price for them. Oh, thank you, Amy, so much. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Okay, let's go in. Let's go in. We talked about, I'm sharing with you closing ceremonies, the power of ritual. Rituals can help keep your magnesium burn rate low. I have a lot of rituals that I do that calm me. We have a really good friend that comes over from Wales, and she is a tea drinker. And the ritual of making that tea helps to calm her down. The warmth, the pattern, she goes through the same pattern every time when she makes that tea, and it's very calming to her. I have morning rituals, I have evening rituals, I have an end of quarter ritual, and I have a big end of year ritual. And I've always called it closing ceremonies, just closing out the things that happened in 2024. And then I take it a little bit further than that. Some people stop with just that. I'd love to share with you what I do before I create the goals and things that I want to do for 2025. And that is a 3-step process. So remember, the first one was reflecting, identifying, searching, and releasing. That was to empty out the hard things that have happened of 2024. And I did that through every hard thing: reflect, identify, search, release. Then I want to focus, because for my experiences is that I feel like I have more capacity to hold the beautiful things that happen through the year. I have less stress in my body, and I'm able to see things that I wouldn't have seen, because stress changes your filter of how you see things. And so for me, it has let go of those hard things, and I'm open up to see more of the beautiful things. And so my process for focusing on those beautiful glimmers, that I like to call them, is reflecting, creating, and embracing. I will never forget the day that I had been teaching some business classes. I want to share sometimes what I've learned in my 25 years of being the founder of Living the Good Life Naturally, things that have worked, things that haven't worked. And so I put out, hey, does anybody want to take this business class? And it was just incredible. Women wanting to share and change the world. And it was one of my favorite experiences. There was one woman in the class that felt incredibly, her experience with me was she was incredibly frustrated. I had put out that if someone wanted to work with me one-on-one, this was the cost. And she was just angry. She said, she didn't want to pay for that time that I was taking. And she felt like it wasn't fair, and very vocal about that anger. And so I was trying to explain to her that when I took that time for her, I was saying no to my family and no to my company, and being there wholeheartedly for her. And that money exchange had to be there for me to be able to do that. And she was so angry. And it was just, we were at a stalemate of working things through. And so I said to her, here's the deal. This conflict is costing me. I thrive in peace. And I told her, I said, I would love to meet with you and I will just gift it to you. I will just gift that to you. And my promise to you is I will show up for you as if you had paid for it. She was so angry and so frustrated. She didn't see. And I repeated it over and over. And I asked her, I almost said her name. I said her name. Do you realize I'm giving this to you? Like, can we get, I'm giving it to you. Her frustration and anger and triggers were so big, she couldn't see that I was willing to give her the very thing she wanted. And we're all like that. I am so grateful to her that she taught me that lesson because I realized I do the very same thing. I get so frustrated or emotional or whatever, angry, and I I can't see solutions. And so I love the first part of the closing ceremonies because it helps me be open to creating more solutions. So now I step into reflecting, creating, and embracing. I reflect back on 2024 and what were my glimmers. I have a couple ways that I record glimmers. I have an audio app that I use in my phone. I have a note section that I use in my phone, and I have an old school Moleskin are my favorite journals. If you love journals, go check out a Moleskin. Vincent Van Gogh used them. The same company that he used to create, and they're very focused on, it's a very simple journal because you create in the journal and we want to give you open space. I love my Moleskin journals. And so those are three ways that I look for those glimmers that I have throughout the year. And just remember, I go through my camera and I'll pull up the names of my grandkids. You know how you can search in photos, and I'll just scroll through grandkid experiences, and then I search for each of my adult kids just to help me remember what those beautiful glimmers and moments were. So that's the reflection part. I go through journals, I go through notes, I go through audio, and I go through my camera. And I just reflect. I'll talk with my husband also. I'll ask him, hey, do you remember anything, throughout the year? And he'll share some thoughts with me. And then I write down the emotions that I've experienced from doing that. Because remember, my goal is to keep my magnesium burn rate low, to create more efficiency as I soak in magnesium to create a magnesium-rich environment. Calm Black Friday is happening right now. It's the best price I can give you on magnesium. In fact, the whole website is 35% off. And here's my promise to you. I've been wanting this pair of headphones because mine broke and I use them every day, the noise canceling. And I want ones that don't hurt my ears, and they're incredibly expensive, the ones I wanted. So I did something I don't normally do, and I thought, okay, I'm going to watch for them to come on at the best price, right? Black Friday is coming up, or Black Friday is coming up for them. And so I've just been keeping an eye on them. And do you know what they did? They marked the price up to mark it down higher than the regular price and use all of the triggers to say 30% off, best price of the year. I was like, what? What? My promise to you is I have never done that. I know local companies here that do it. I've talked with the owners and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's what you do. People just get in this frenzy and just buy if they see that it's the best price." That is garbage and does not match the principles that go along with living the good life naturally. I promise you, I have not marked the prices up to pretend and fool you to make a trigger purchase. It's the best price that I can give you. Happens every year. Calm Black Friday. My way of saying thank you. Everything on the website is 35% off. Plus, you get $50 worth of free gifts in your package when you meet qualifying. I think it's a $100 when you make a $100 purchase. You get those free gifts. It'll tell you on the website. Okay, so going back to, I spoke about the reflecting and what I do for the reflecting, how to pull up those things. And then here's the piece that I think most, I'll stop talking with my hands. My web camera is tracking me and making it move too much. Okay. Here's the piece that I think women disconnect from on the power of gratitude. So I've reflected, right, on all of those things, those glimmer moments. I've talked with my kids, I've talked with my husband, I've listened to audio, I've looked at pictures, I've scrolled through my journals, I've looked at my notes. There's a lot of things there. That doesn't change how our body works. When you create the emotion internally, that's what lowers your magnesium burn rate. It takes me so much less time to achieve and maintain cell saturation than it did 5 years ago, and it's not because of the magnesium, it's purely because I have learned and built a muscle on how to create gratitude internally. And it was hard for me in the beginning, like, when you first try anything, and now it's easy because I just kept practicing. And here's what I do. For example, I have a picture of my 2-year-old grandson. Oh, my 2-year-old grandson. It's actually a little video clip, and I have a Tesla, and there's emissions, so it's body emissions, and he was pushing the button on the seat that his mom was sitting on and belly laughing like I have never seen him belly laugh. The only reason I bought that Tesla was for my dog because we travel a lot and sometimes need to leave him in the car, and it really simplified our lives. I didn't realize that my grandchildren would get such joy out of it. Now, in that moment, I laughed. I remembered. It was so cute just retelling that story. I need to create it internally. So now I ask myself, okay, what was I feeling? What was the emotion when baby Cole did that in my car? I felt so lucky to be his grandma and to be a part of his life, and that we were in that moment with people that I love belly laughing. That to me is the best. And I got to experience that with him all because of a sound on my car. And what was the feeling? And for me, it was joy. It was absolute joy. And so now I take a minute, and I usually like to lean back in a chair different than this. I'll lean back and I'll relax my body. And sometimes I close my eyes. In the beginning, I really had to. And what does joy feel like to me? And where am I feeling that? Oh, I feel it in my heart and I feel it in my head. Yeah, I really feel that in my head. And it's effervescent, like a soda bubble, like a carbonated, how it's effervescent like that, and it moves easily. And so I just take a minute and take that experience and just shine a flashlight all over my body with the bubbles trailing. So it's this mental image, and I create that experience in my body. I experienced it externally with him. I am moving it internally to change how the minerals move in my body. I personally think that is the missing piece of connection, that gratitude is not changing us like it did our grandparents. We are so busy. We have so many good things to do and be. And we're not taking that time. And it does take a moment of time to take that joy and wrap it around my heart, my feet, my hands, my legs, my belly, my head, to wrap that everywhere with that sweet little boy. That is what changes how minerals move through your body. Now, does that mean it took away all the hard things that have happened this month? It has been a really tough month for the Bowen family. No, it didn't take away those things. They're still there. But the ritual of creating that internally helps me handle and manage the stress of things that have happened that are completely out of my control more efficiently. Yes, it takes a moment of time. In the beginning, it took me longer than it does now because I've trained my muscles, I've trained my body, I've trained my mental capacity to do that quickly. And so I will go over those glimmers that I've pulled from my husband, my kids, from audio, from notes, from my camera. What other? Oh, my journal, my moleskin. I love moleskin. If you've ever tried a moleskin journal, let me know below in the comments and tag them. I would love. That's one of my dreams for 2025 is I want to collaborate with some of the companies that I've used for 25 years and talked about for 25 years, and moleskin is one of them. That changes how minerals flow through your body, and it opens up your capacity to create help. You have to be in a place of creation to create help. And if you're in a place of constantly researching your help, that's walking you away from creating. Now, research is fabulous. I love learning. We have to step out of that and actively create. We have to step out of the research and actively create. And when you actively recreate experiences internally, that's what keeps the magnesium in your cells. That's how powerful we are. Are you comfortable with that power? Because that's how powerful you and I are. We change how minerals move through our body through the thoughts that we think. We can speed it up, magnesium being pushed out, or we can slow it down. And when I create those experiences internally that have been moments, that's what changes my health. And that's what helps me to see more of them. Remember when I talked to you about, oh, I almost said her name again, the woman that I was talking with that had just been so frustrated that one-on-one time would cost to meet with me. And there was so much conflict, so much anger. I'd restated and restated, and I finally thought, oh, here's a solution. I'm gifting this to you. She didn't hear it. She couldn't see that I had given her the very thing she had been crying and sobbing and yelling about for a couple of days. She couldn't see it because she was so filled with all the anger and frustration, and she just let it consume her. Now, those emotions are valid. How we manage those emotions is our choice, and that's what determines your personal magnesium burn rate. I have created a ritual to recreate those experiences, especially at the end of the year. I do it frequently throughout the year. The end of the year, I really spend a lot of time doing that because I want to see new solutions with our Amazon situation. I want Amazon to see new solutions to help me. They have to push one button to turn my shop back on so that I don't have to pay $10,000 to get product back I've already paid to ship there. I want to let go of those. I want to manage them in a different way so that I can see solutions, because I saw in her that day that those emotions stopped her from seeing the very thing that she wanted. Now, realizing I'm not a counselor, I'm not a doctor, I'm sharing with you what works for you. It may or may not work for you. Always take your own mental health, physical health into the decisions that you make for you. And maybe it will be a good fit. And maybe you go, oh, Kristen, that doesn't work for me. I'm done, never to try that again. And so always filter it through your situation. It's been a really powerful ritual for me that's helped me to hold on to my magnesium, meaning I don't have to soak in magnesium as often because I'm building that muscle with my thoughts. Calm Black Friday sale. Last day is today, and 35% off at the best price that I can give you. 2025, we have been told by our shipping people that we ship with and product that prices will be going up. And so I don't know what's going to happen to the pricing. There's probably going to have to be an increase on the magnesium pricing because I don't water it down. A lot of companies add water and they'll just add more water and then they keep it the same price. This is undiluted, not from flakes. I could do that for pennies, but it doesn't get you to cell saturation. It doesn't meet my goals. And one of the goals of my company is ending magnesium deficiency by 2055. 2055, that magnesium deficiency will be a thing of the past. And you can't do that with flakes. You can't do that with brine that's been made from flakes. You have to do that with undiluted sea brine, the natural cofactors found. And that's what magnesium soak is. 35% off last day. Okay, one more thing that I want to do. So we talked about closing ceremonies, and I'll go through those systems one more time. The first system is releasing, and the 4 steps are reflecting, identifying, searching, and releasing. The second part of that process is creating glimmers and focusing on those glimmers. And that, for me, that 3-step process is reflecting, creating, and embracing. So after I've created that in my body, I want to just embrace that and focus on that. And there's a balance, and what's right for me may not be right for you. Only you can call the balance. I can sometimes get caught up in focusing on the problem, and it just makes the problem bigger. Now, the Amazon situation, there's been a lot of focus on that. I have to have meetings and consultants and now attorney. I mean, there's a lot. But if I'm constantly ruminating on that in my brain about the problem, it's just going to become bigger and bigger and bigger, and I will have less ability to deal with it. So I'm not saying shove the problem away, and I'm not saying be disingenuous in that, oh yeah, there's no problem. There is a problem with Amazon. It's costing me a lot of money. Where we put our focus can determine our ability to see solutions and how heavy the problem feels. And so there's a real balance there to not take it to a toxic place, but to keep it in balance so that we're creating and seeing those solutions. The next step that I do is, oh, thank you, Kathy. That's so kind of you. Thank you so very much. And Pam, thank you. Okay, so there's one more part I wanted to share with you. Oh, does the email for the masterclass go out right before the class? I do not want to miss it. I'm going to ask, let's see, I don't know if Shelly can. Yeah, Shelly, could you answer that? I'm not sure when that, I think we just changed it. And so I don't know if it already went out or if it goes out right before. Just we're trying to figure out what works best for people. Okay, the last part, and I hear me out on this one. You may have had a negative experience with it. Just hear me out. Just listen and then determine if it's a good fit for you. Word of the year. I love my word of the year. And in December is when I choose my word of the year for the next year, but only after I've gone through those 2 parts of my closing ceremony. If I try to pick, for me personally, if I try to pick my word of the year when I've got frustration and resentment or any of those things throughout my year to situations that have happened, my word of the year is not true to what I need and what will help me to move forward. Now, my word of the year I chose this morning, and it's consistency. And I love going to the etymology of the word. And I've been kind of back and forth between a couple. And the etymology, I'll always look up the etymology. And this one, it's a medieval etymology from 1590. And the word of the year, oh, and we might have lost our Instagram people. We're going to lose you soon, Instagram. I'll go quickly. The word of the year means stand firm for me. Consistency is my word. I don't need to find anything else. I don't need to add a bunch of things. I don't need to go buy anything. I have it. And I need to be consistent with what I have. The etymology convinced me. Firmness of matter and state of harmony. When you look up the etymology of the word that you're maybe thinking about to filter your year through and to ask yourself, how am I doing? Look at the etymology. I was kind of leaning toward consistency, but then thought, But when I saw that the original root to that word is state of harmony, firm matter, firmness of matter. It was my word. That's my word. And since I started doing my closing ceremonies first and then adding my word and choosing my word of the year has been more successful because it's been chosen in a deeper place of authenticity for myself. I love closing ceremonies. It has helped me hold on to my magnesium. Soaking in magnesium, achieving cell saturation is the first gateway of health. It activates your stored and active vitamin D. If your vitamin D is low, your magnesium is low. You can't get low vitamin D without low magnesium. Going in and course correcting instead of chasing thyroid symptoms or chasing hormonal symptoms, asking yourself, are my magnesium levels up? And how does my vitamin D look? Because every single thing that's going on in your body is made better by having a strong foundation of magnesium and a strong vitamin D profile. And if you're out there focused on all of these other things, you'll never get optimal feedback from them if you don't have that strong foundation built. And it also makes it that you spend less time on creating health because we focus on taking action on building that foundation and creating strong magnesium levels, magnesium cell saturation of 6.3 or above, and then including the magnesium morning trifecta, early morning sunshine, walking, and soaking in magnesium. Yeah. Best sell of the year, Calm Black Friday, happening right now. Today is the last day. I do have something going out for Giving Tuesday. I love Little Lambs Foundation and I want to support them. And I found a lot of you that want to help me support them. They are an incredible nonprofit agency that make a difference for children. And that's what Living the Good Life Naturally is all about, is helping women wake up in the morning feeling so good that they're putting their dreams into action, because when they do that, they lift the people around them. If I would have had someone that would have felt good, they would have recognized what was happening in my life and they maybe could have helped support me, and it would have created a completely different life experience for me. I want to be a part of helping women make sure that the world is a better place for children. And it starts with magnesium. Join me, ending magnesium deficiency by 2055. That's the goal, living the good life naturally. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. And I appreciate you being here. And we will so Shelly just said, let's see, I think it was Jackie. Shelly just said, and I don't know if this went up on the regular comments or not, because I have to look several places, but Shelly just sent me a private message. It should go out very soon to those who have signed up. And I would love to have you join me on that magnesium masterclass. It is, we dive a little bit deeper. Today, we're going to go a little bit deeper into closing ceremonies, and I want to share some things. And it's, well, anyway, on the Magnesium Masterclass, we'll talk about those things. I'd love to have you join me. You only get that link by being a part of the email newsletter, the Good Journal, and you do have to show up by video. You have to have your video on or you're taken out of that class. One of my goals is creating connection with women, and we can't connect if we don't know who's on the call. Magnesium cell saturation 6.3, Calm Black Friday, best price of the year. Everything at the website, Living the Good Life Naturally, is on sale. Has not been marked up to be marked down. It is a true sale. It is my appreciation that you have been a part of my journey for almost 25 years. Go check it out. livingthegoodlifenaturally.com. Desiccated liver, olive oil, magnesium, spray, muscle cream, all sorts of things are over there, and it's the best price that I can give you of the year. It's my way of saying thank you. And when you meet a certain amount, you get $50 worth of free gifts of different products. We brought back some old products. My daughter pulled that off because she was so excited. We still get asked every week, will Winter Fig ever come back? Will Candy Cane ever come back? And they are, as a gift to you, for us to say thank you that we're still here 25 years later talking about my passion of magnesium cell saturation. Bye, guys. Okay. Oh, let's see. Oh, wait. Is there more? So no. Okay, comments. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. Okay. It was sweet birthday comments, not questions. Okay. Oh, you're so welcome, Patricia. You're so welcome.